Hello everyone and welcome to today's lesson. Today, we're going to dive into the world of grammar and explore one of the most commonly used tenses in the English language, the simple past tense. Have you ever wanted to talk about something that happened yesterday, last week, or even a few years ago? Well, that's where the simple past tense comes in handy. It's the tense we use to describe actions or events that have already happened. For example, if you want to say you watched a movie last night, you would say I watched a movie. Notice how the verb watch changes to watched. That's a simple past tense verb. In today's video, we'll cover how to form the simple past tense both for regular and irregular verbs. We'll also look at some common uses and practice with a few examples. By the end of this lesson, you will be able to confidently talk about past events and understand how to use the simple past tense in your own conversations and writing. So, grab your notebooks and pens and let's get started on mastering the simple past tense. So here are the table of contents of this lesson. The first one is what is simple past tense. The second is characteristic of simple past tense. The third is pattern of simple past tense. Alright, the first content is what is the simple past tense. The simple past tense is used to describe actions or events that happened at a specific time in the past. For example, I visited Paris last summer. So, from that explanation, we know that if you want to share your experience in the past, you have to use simple past tense. Next, move on to the characteristic of simple past tense. There are three characteristics of simple past tense. The first one is specific time reference or adverb of time. For example, yesterday, last night, 2 days ago. The second one is formation with regular verbs. The simple past tense is formed by adding ed to the past form of the verb. For example, play becomes played, visit becomes visited. The last characteristic is irregular verbs. Do not follow the ed rule and have unique past tense forms. For example, go becomes went, see becomes saw, buy becomes bought. You can see the difference between regular verbs and irregular verbs. If irregular verbs, you have to add ed forms, but in irregular verbs, the verb one is changes to the verb to. That's called irregular verbs. The last is about pattern of the simple past tense. It is the important part of simple past tense. You can see here we have two types of sentence. There is verbal sentence and nominal sentence. We have to discuss the verbal sentence first. In verbal sentence, we have subject. In a positive sentence, we have subject plus verb to plus complement. In negative, we have subject plus did plus not plus verb one plus complement. In interrogative, there is did plus subject plus verb one plus complement. You can see the difference between positive, negative, and interrogative sentence. In positive, you have to use verb to, and in negative and interrogative, the verb to is changes to verb one. For example, in positive sentence, the nurse went to the hospital yesterday. So the subject is the nurse. The verb to is went. To the hospital is a complement, and yesterday is a adverb of time. In negative sentence and interrogative, you have to remember that verb to changes into verb one. When becomes go. Right, next move to the nominal sentence. In nominal sentence is more simple than verbal sentence. In positive, there is subject plus to be was were plus complement. In negative, there is subject plus to be was were plus not plus complement. In interrogative, to be was were plus subject plus complement. For example, in subject, she was a teacher. In negative, she was not a teacher. In interrogative, was she a teacher? So you have to choose between was or were it based on the subject you choose. So here are some notes that if you want to choose between was or were that's suitable with the subject. I was, you were, they were, we were, she was, he was, it was. Alright, let's practice. So here I have 5 verbs. You have to change the verb 1 into the verb 2. I allow you to pause the video for a moment to think and write your answer in the comments below. Alright, finally that's all for today's lesson. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe for more educational content. If you have any questions or need further clarification, leave a comment below. Happy learning and see you next time.